live look now inside the Fiserv Forum, where the Republican National Convention is underway. Just 2 days after the assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump, he is now the official party nominee.
Let's go back out to Joe Donnan live in Milwaukee, where he's been joined by a political expert to help put these fast-changing events in perspective. Joe.
Yeah, look who we found rummaging around the concourse looking for food.
There's nothing back here, though.
I know. It's the former head of the Illinois Republican Party, our friend and analyst, Pat Brady. Pat, let's start with the big news this afternoon. Why J.D. Vance?
It's a perfect Trump pick. I think it probably reflects that former President Trump feels pretty confident about his campaign because he doesn't add anything really politically, geographically, or any kind of.
Yeah, he's already got Ohio for the most part, right?
Yeah, and JD, I think, Senator Vance, has just been a very good attack dog for former President Trump, and he's very smart, and I think he likes that.
Well documented that hasn't always been the case, though, Pat. He's an affirmed never-Trumper not long ago. What happened?
Hypocrisy in politics, really?
Imagine that.
It just happened, yeah. No, he's evolved. He says he just didn't know Trump well enough at the time to understand what he was all about, and he actually liked what he did. He's taken some positions in the Senate pretty consistent with what Trump believes in, particularly with Ukraine and some other things. So I think he says he's evolved, but yeah, I mean, he's played the game.
But we've seen this with a number of well-known Republicans who have bashed Trump every chance they get, but seem to come around in the end.
Yeah, and you know what? It's a horse apiece. The Democrats have a problem candidate right now that they don't seem to want to move out of his position in President Biden. So there's hypocrisy on both sides, I think.
We haven't talked since the assassination attempt, Pat. What do you think the impact of that will be on this race moving forward? Does it change Trump? Apparently, he's changed his speech. We know that. What happens to him in the aftermath of this?
I think the changes that I read about, and I've heard kind of around here, that they're going to turn the speech more to unity versus attacking Biden. I do think there's some risk in that because I think a lot of people in this room here actually like it when he's attacking and going after Biden and is throwing that out there. So, but I guess he's got to change his speech and make it more of a unity speech is what I'm hearing for some of the other campaigns.
2020, we had COVID, Pat. 2016, though, when Trump was nominated, this was a much different feel, wasn't it?
I was there. A totally different feel. There was actually a move on the floor probably about right now on Monday night to not have him be the nominee. It wasn't a big group, but it was a very vocal group. It went on for about 3 hours. But this is going to be a love fest for Trump, like it was for J.D. Vance, Senator Vance, when he walked in. And I think it's going to be they're going to preach unity, which is I think what the country might want.
Will there be any debate, do you think, over the platform, which has been pared down and softened on a couple of key points?
Yeah, on abortion and on gay rights. If it didn't happen today, or it doesn't happen today or tomorrow, I don't think they will. I think they did it very. President Trump has a great team around him right now. He didn't have that in 2016. Remember, the convention was kind of a mess for them, but this is a real professional campaign team he's got.
We haven't talked either really about the situation with the Democrats. What do you think happens?
I don't know, but they got to do something pretty quickly. But I guarantee you, and the feeling in this room, talking about a different feel, they smell victory. And if something doesn't change on the Democratic side, I mean, there's some states now that were formerly blue states that are now in play. So the Democrats have to do something or Trump's probably going to walk into a landslide.
All right, Pat Brady, thank you for your insight. As always, we appreciate it.
See you.
More to come from Milwaukee, not long from right now. Coming up at 5 o'clock, Jim and Marie. For now, we'll send it back to you in Chicago.
Joe and Pat, thanks so much.